just said that on camera. This shit going viral.
Ape Nation, thank you for helping me pass 200 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully I can earn it today. All right, guys. So I hopped on Treys Trades Clips to watch this live interview with Aron. So let's play it here and see what the man says.
Yesterday after the close, AMC posted second quarter financial results. Revenue up more than $444 million. The street was looking for $375 million. The loss was 71 cents. The Wall Street consensus was a loss of 93 cents. Financial media headlines acknowledge the results, but disdain for the company and its ape shareholder community continues. AMC CEO Aron joins me now. And Adam, before we start, I want to say thanks for coming on the show. And I did watch, I got to say, I was a little skeptical about what was happening with you and the apes. And I watched between your conference call and you on TV earlier on another network. And I got to tell you, I completely understand why the ape community has put their faith in you. When you say that they're showholders, that they're your boss, you show them the kind of respect that so many people don't. So I got a lot to cover. I'm going to get to challenges, but let's look at the highlights from the quarter. I'm going to start with liquidity. $2 billion, is that enough to get you to profitability? And of course, everyone's saying, if you got $2 billion, when will you share it with shareholders?
Well, first of all, there's a lot in there, Charles. Let me start with a little praise back. I've been watching very carefully what you've been reporting about AMC these past many months, and we're very appreciative of the coverage that you've given us. You've been very kind in your comments. In terms of the quarter, we did report a great second quarter yesterday. Now, you got to put that in perspective. We lost money in the second quarter, but we were so much better off than people expected. And we were so much better off in the second quarter of this year than we were in the second quarter of last year. We were so much better off in the second quarter of this year than we were in the first quarter of this year. You've got a sense that while we're not out of the COVID woods yet, this, after all, is still a COVID-infected world, you can see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can see that recovery is coming. And we just have to, continue to work our way through and get to the other side. Fortunately,
let's talk about that. You made some comparisons to last year. In these circumstances, it's probably best to make comparisons to 2019 to get back to where you were when you really were dominating the industry. One of the announcements last night, for instance, the Warner Brother deals. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It certainly belies the narrative that studios don't care about the box office anymore. Give us a few details there.
Well, you're right, Charles, and it's an astute observation by you. The agreement we announced yesterday with Warner Brothers is that in December, Warner Brothers said that going forward, it was going to take all of its movies to the home on HBO Max on the same day that it took movies to theaters. And they are clearly doing that to build up HBO Max, but they were doing it not only at our expense, but we believe at the expense of their own studio division. And they did it now for half a year. They watched the results carefully, and what they decided was that the old way of doing business, which is take movies out into the marketplace in theaters first, is a much smarter thing for Warner Brothers, let alone for AMC. And so we signed an agreement that they've abandoned this whole take the movies to the home and theaters simultaneously concept. We've agreed that we're going to show all Warner Brothers movies in calendar year 2022 with an exclusive 45-day theatrical window, which means movies are coming to theaters first, and clearly that's in our interest. There's a train of thought now amongst a lot of studios that that's the way to go, and hopefully we can get all the major studios to agree to what Warner agreed to yesterday.
Sure. Adam, I could just say you're a real gentleman. It's amazing to me. Listen, I understand the cynicism out there, perhaps, and the critics who think the stock is overvalued, but the slings and arrows that you take, that your shareholders take, I think is despicable. I think the financial media needs to look in the mirror because no one knows, right?
Thank you.
I've watched Crocs go up 1,200% in the last year after everyone on Wall Street wrote them off. I've seen companies come back like phoenixes from the ashes. So I tip my hat to you. You've been innovative. You've done an amazing job. And I hope you come back on the show real soon, Adam. Thank you very much.
I will, and you were right in what you said before. Maybe the biggest thing of all is that everybody should pay a lot of respect to these individual investors who are making decisions every day about which companies they want to back.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon. In the meantime, folks, millions of Americans are still out of work, and the economy, well, let's face it, it's humming. So that's free money. Truly.
All right, so there it is. That was AA going on with the media silverback Charles Payne in that interview. And thanks to Treys for streaming that live. I was able to pick that up and watch it. So just kind of a recap of what he said basically yesterday. Not too much that was new. I was hoping they were going to talk about the manipulation and corruption in the market, but, you know, again, how much can he really say about that is the question. Charles Payne can talk to Matt and Trey and Keenan about that kind of stuff, but talking with the CEO of AMC is a lot different, as we know. And the other clip I wanted to show you, this is earlier today. Jim Cramer was on, and he was talking about AMC. And watch the pain it takes for Jim Cramer to admit that the quarterly earnings were good and Aron is doing a good job as CEO of AMC. It literally pains him to admit it.
Some of the initiatives that he's going to be playing with when they're looking to play some offense. Let's talk about the quarter itself. What'd you think from AMC?
The quarter was good. I mean, the cash flow was good. They're still burning cash, remember, and he says that. This is an unbelievably good conference call. Still burning cash, still needing many more people to go. But they've raised prices, they've streamlined, they've used this period to close the underperformers. So they're making much, I would say like this is something he said, making much more per person who goes. So even though you see that the number of people are about half of where they were, the people who do go spend more. So and they've raised prices. So you've got a kind of a really virtuous circle going on there. The only negative story that I found after trying to poke holes, obviously, was Disney. Was that Disney Plus took Black Widow. But he made the point, I mean, I said, look, I love watching Black Widow at home, and what do you tell you? This is like to go out to the movie theaters. And he produces evidence that, wait a second.
Can we just ask, is that Jim Cramer's job to poke holes? Or is he just supposed to report on the news? I mean, I know he's opinionated. This is supposed to be your buddy, Aron, that they're both from the same town or same place in Philly. Their high schools were like close together. Why do you find the need to try to poke holes into that, Jim? I don't understand.
Still, you know, people love going to theaters. I mean, remember, Adam was the CEO of Norwegian Cruise, CEO of the 76ers, CEO of Vail, and CEO of Starwood. Successful everywhere. So people keep talking about how lucky he is. How about how successful he's been? And he figured out how to raise $5 billion by taking advantage of the fact that the apes, the memes, whatever you want to call them, liked it. And in this particular case, it worked. I mean, think about it. He needed to raise capital. They gave him the capital by bidding the stock up, and he saved the company with the capital because he needed the $5 billion. So the idea that you should value him versus Cinemark or about IMAX is fatuous, because what he did was come up with a strategy to take advantage of a high share price that has made it so he can live to play till 2026. 2026 he's got.
Was that really so hard, Jim? I mean, just to admit that the man is being successful at what he's doing, that he saved AMC, and that he's raised enough capital where he doesn't have to ask for more shares right now, and they're good till 2026. It just blows my mind that these guys just can't report the news for what it is. He's got to try to poke holes in the story, and I guess whatever, but he's not even an investigative journalist. He's an op-ed guy on CNBC. All right, guys, so that's all I got for now. I just wanted to get that out there so you guys could see these interviews and what people are saying after their earnings call yesterday. I'll be back with a full video later on tonight. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Master Lorian, and I'm out.